stop negotiations on the Adams Middle School sale and to stop listing 5,000 Patterson Circle in future agendas. Why? Because there are better choices. You've heard many of the arguments for and against the sale. As an elected official, I know you face tough decisions. However, from my perspective as a lifelong educator in our district, the sale of Adams is not in the school district's best interests. Even though Adams is in unincorporated territory, your decision will affect Richmond residents and Richmond children forever. If you sell Adams, we will never get our land back. We will never reopen Adams to address middle school overcrowding, and we will never get back the caliber lease payments to the school district. These bad facts for the sale have nothing to do with race. Let me offer my perspective. From one elected official to another, you need to build trust. Giving a gift of public funds to Caliber, which is prohibited by state law, does not build trust for us. What will build trust is simple. Stand with us. Prioritize us. And listen to us, the lifelong residents of Richmond and the East Richmond Heights. Look at the facts, clear of emotion. Thank you.
Mr. Lipscomb.
Tim Lipscomb, Carpenters 152, Senior Field Representative. Carpenters 152 has a long-standing tradition of supporting projects that give back to the community. For instance, head of household jobs, career paths for our young people, health care for the individual and the whole family, apprenticeship, safety, and quality construction. Caliber has agreed to the aforementioned and has signed a document with the Carpenters doing so. Caliber's also agreed to use the DSA, Division of State Architecture, to ensure quality, seismically safe construction. We believe now is the time to move forward from this distraction for both entities, the board and Caliber, to focus on getting back to the basics of providing quality education for our young people. Our intent early on was not to create another Aspire School debacle where the construction up there gave nothing back to the community. We have accomplished our goal. And now we support the sale of Adams. Thank you for your time and attention to this most delicate matter.
Cohort 29, and I'm also a member of Carpenters Local 152. I'm asking that you guys approve the sale of Adams Middle School so that I will have the opportunity to work on this project and continue to continue to be able to afford to live in this community. Being able to build something in the area which I live is an awesome opportunity for me, and I would like to thank you in advance for pushing through on this motion. Thank you.
Mr. Lamb.
Good evening, board members. My name is Andre Bland, Locals Carpenter 152, and I ask that you guys approve the sale of Adams to create good heads of household jobs for the local community, as well as the residents to build forward to the future. Thank you.
So, my name is Susan Worley. I was a teacher in this district for almost 30 years. I also taught in Berkeley for just a bit. I taught at Portland Middle School for 25 years and 2 other middle schools, including Adams. And I know the Adams site is really quite a wonderful place. I'm really disappointed that you would consider to sell that school, especially for an amount of money that any one of us could come up with. I think it should be used for something in the public domain. I think it's just wrong to spend public school money on private endeavors. And charter schools are really private schools. They make a lot of decisions that the public schools cannot. I'm a lifetime member of CTA and NEA, and I support teachers in opposing this move. Thank you.
Good evening, board members. I am representing district employee union members as a whole. Number one, although we know that Adams, or we feel that we know Adams will be sold, We do not want it sold to a charter school that does not have union employees. They are non-union. Local 1 / maybe sometime Teamsters, I don't know. SSA, Local 21, and UTR are all unions, and this affects all of us with jobs. Once the job is done that these union workers want to do, then that's it. They're going to build a place for non-union employees to go in and per se take the best of the best students away. I am totally against charter schools. Please find a way to sell it to Park and Recreation.
I taught elementary school for 26 years, and since retirement, I volunteered for the last 5 years at Neestrom Elementary and Richmond College Prep. And I'm going to ask you to today look at the larger picture. Since we know that Ron wants his own high school too, what will our district look like in 10 years? There will be the Ron Beller School District, the Steve Chamberlain School District, the KIPP School District, the Green Dot School District, the Eli Broad School District, etc. I understand that you have a self-interest in this because you'll have much less work to do. In fact, we won't need a Board of Education anymore. And I should point out that many small organizations like the Alameda County Board just voted to ban fracking in Alameda County. It's about bravery. And I leave you with a lesson that I taught my kindergarten class. By the way, I knew that the other groups could be bought off. You could actually ask for $2 million and Ron would probably cough it up, let me tell you. The lesson that I taught my kindergarten class, the definition of brave, it does not mean that you do something heroic and you're not afraid to do it. Brave means you are afraid, but you do the right thing anyway. And we're asking you to be brave. Thank you.
Good afternoon, board members, Superintendent Duffy. Actually, for my minute and a half, I would like to invite, I know this we usually don't do it, but I would like to invite all the parents, teachers, and family members who are here to stand with UTR to please come to the front. Join me right now. All of you, please stand up and join me. This is what real solidarity looks like, and real union. Please, everybody join me who's in support of UTR. It's a shame to see that our brothers and sisters are not standing with us today, since just a few weeks ago they were criticizing us for not taking a stronger stance on the sale of Adams. But we are here to tell you that we are standing here in solidarity to show that we are not in the same position as our brothers and sisters, and Caliber has not shown their promise. Why are we going to give them a site that is going to let them expand when they have not shown us the academic achievement that they promised? If you saw the SBAC scores, they did not achieve to the point where they told us they were going to achieve. So how are we going to price them by giving them a bigger site where they're going to be able to grow and destroy our schools, our neighboring schools, Mira Vista and Madera, who are doing a great job at their schools? We ask you to please vote no tonight. End this discussion, which is really hurting our community. It's really toxic. We can't talk about what's really important, which is our kids and our teachers, because we just constantly have to talk about this issue. And I want you to please pay attention. Look, all these people here who are really part of this community, who are really here in solidarity, and we all stand together against this sale.
Please conclude your remarks.
Okay, I'm Melvin Willis, Richmond resident, and actually I'm one of the, I don't know how many people here actually did, but I'm one of the folks that actually went to Adams Middle School when I was attending schools in 2001 and graduated out there in 2003. And judging from the sign that you can see that I'm holding, I am against the sale of Adams Middle School. I do believe that Adams Middle School does need to be reopened, because it does need to be reopened, but as a public school. Right now, a lot of our teachers and our school systems are overwhelmed with over class size because they're trying to do everything they can to service the children in our community and in our district, and they are completely overwhelmed. And I do not believe selling Adams Middle School to the same person that I learned is one of the people that was behind the housing crisis that launched us into a Great Recession is the right way to do it. I don't want to trust the education of our children to somebody who's just coming to Richmond and looking at it as an investment. For us, we are all invested in the children of Richmond, the children of West Contra Costa County. And if we want to really show true investment to our children, definitely reopen Adams Middle School, but open it as a public school so kids can attend there and come out of there just like I did. Thank you so much.
Good evening, my name is Judy Greenspan, and I am a school teacher at one of the schools that has been most heavily impacted by the growth of charters in this district. I'm a 4th grade teacher at Grant Elementary School. We are a wonderful school with an incredibly strong staff. We were for a minute on your closing list. Somehow we got off the closing list, but we also fell off the rebuild list, which we would love to be back on. But Grant has been impacted because we have lost many students. We right now have 3 combo classes because of the growth of charters in the district. And I will tell you that next year or the following year, those parents will be back because they will realize that charter schools are no panacea for fundamental problems in education. We need to change public education, but we don't need to privatize it. And that's the bottom line. And I would really urge you not to approve the sale of Adams because it will set a dangerous precedent in this district. Charters will flood to this district like you've never seen and ask for every piece of property that's been lying vacant. We need to rebuild our public schools. We need to provide quality public schools for the children of Richmond and San Pablo and Pinole and El Cerrito. And that's what I believe your job is. Stand with us, say no to charter school growth, stop the sale of Adams.
We're going to go ahead and retire to closed session, okay? There are a number of other things that are going on that we'll get.
My name is Jill Aldridge. I'm a district employee. I've worked here for over 20 years, president of SSA Local 21. And I just see the charter schools taking over and trying to take children from a public school, which taxes us financially, number one, and then they take non-union, they hire non-union people. Our teachers are UTR, our administrators that are SSA, and then there's clerical, classified that are Local 1. And it just affects us all. It takes our jobs away. It takes our jobs.
And who does he have doing the work in his schools? Ron Beller.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Who does the work in his school? Like service work?
I have
volunteers?
I know at one time parents had to volunteer to keep the schools clean. Parents had to do all sorts of different things. I don't know if that's true today. I know it was true.
And a lot of parents work 2 jobs. They have trouble, taking care of things themselves.
A lot of parents have a hard time volunteering in our school district, but we manage. We have people who love the children, love working for the school district, our heart's in the right place, and we just feel that there's nothing wrong with education within the district. Also, one of the biggest things that people don't know that's going on in West Contra Costa School District is, take example, if your child is an elementary child and they go to Lincoln is going to feed to Livonia Dijon, which has the most wonderful pathways program of computer engineering. Then they feed from there, they feed to Kennedy, that has the Fab Lab, an engineering course, all these things that charter schools just don't have. There's so many things going on in this school district with technology. It's incredible. We're rolling out this year, we will be have one-to-one devices for every child in this school district. They will have a computer in their hands or tablet in their hand Charter schools don't have that. They don't have the Fab Lab like Kennedy has. We're opening a new one at Crespi. The Pathways program is incredible in this district. Charter schools have nothing like that.
Well, you were talking about particularly the Carpenters here, who are now in favor of the Caliber Charter School. What do you think about what has happened? Initially, they was against the charter, and now they've changed their position.
Well, apparently somebody met with them before this was done and probably offered them some kind of deal. You come to the board meeting and you rally with us, we'll give you guys the contract to build the school, even though we don't have it yet. But what that does is that's actually going against their brothers and sisters in other unions, UTR, Local 21, Local 1. So I don't really understand why they would do that. I'm appalled at it because we're supposed to be brothers and sisters in the unions, all the unions, and so I'm very disappointed.
And even their own members might face discrimination, African American Latino members, by the charters which pick and choose and cherry pick the students.
Well, they do cherry pick their students. That's what I've been told. That's what I've heard. That seems to be what happens. I know that they don't have good programs for special ed, or they have very small funding for the special ed students. And I know that enrollment this year, we're seeing people come back from the charter schools. We're losing some, but we're gaining at the same time. So they're not really all there cracked up to be, and as far as I'm concerned, it's just another big business.
And Ron Beller says he wants to help out people. He's doing good. What are your words to Ron Beller?
How much do you make a year? I'd like to see what his paycheck is. He's not doing this for free. Charter schools are making a lot of money, and I think it's going in his pocket.
Andy Brody, UTR, and a rep. Work at Helms, school librarian.
So what's happening here tonight, and what are you doing?
Well, we're here trying to mobilize against this idea of charter schools, the privatization, of course, amongst other things, the misinformation that gets put out about public schools, but also the bleeding of public schools, the idea that public schools are, if they become charters, which are not public schools, despite any kind of ruling that said they can call themselves public schools. They're bleeding the coffers, they're denting what is already truly dented, and we need more money for public education, and we need the restoration of public education, because like at Helms Middle School last year, we had 1/3 of our teachers were first-year teachers. And charter schools are not doing better than this either. What's happening is nobody, despite opportunity, no one wants to go into teaching. And we are bleeding teachers from these schools like Helms. They go in the direction of Orinda, they go in the direction of Marin, and we will continue to bleed them if we don't actually have parity. And there's no attempt to get parity. It's just what can you get for nothing? And that's why people won't teach. They actually won't teach. So many people will not teach. And you cannot say, well, aren't you in it for the kids, and the sort of schlocky, sentimental thing that they say, because they're not in it for the kids. Because what's happened now is the young teachers are absolutely, their backs broken with the kind of loans that they've gotten from going to these universities. And now you're telling them, take nothing and see if you can pay off the loan. We have one teacher right now, 20 years of experience. She's talking about how she'll have to sell off all her furniture, or half her furniture, because she's got to downsize because the landlord wants her place. Well, who wants to teach under those conditions, and why would you? Because, you teach, you do your 4 years, you do another 1.5 years, and then you need 2 or 3 years experience. How much experience, and what do you want? So people don't leave Marin because they pay well. People don't leave Menlo Park. And they don't have these kind of things trying to sneak in there and take over those areas. No, they want to come in here and they're making a bundle. And I just want to get another little piece in here, that the guy that's leading this and his wife, he said he's not taking a penny. And let's be quite clear, the guy sold a house in London for $16.7 million. So that's just flat out dishonest. Just sit there and tell me how you're not taking a bloody penny. And it came out in the trial because they had all kinds of shenanigans with where he was working before, and it came out in the court, so I don't mind saying it, that his wife spent $500,000 on her birthday weekend for her 40th birthday. These are the people coming in here to try and tell us what public education is about. And the attack on public education, in fact, is a civil rights matter. And when you don't offer the same education that they are offering over in Marin and Orinda, you know, you don't have equality. You don't have 14th Amendment equality and protection. And that's a serious problem. And that's why NAACP has come out against it.
And what was the resolution that they came out with, NAACP?
Oh,
I understand your union supported it.
One there, that's a long one. But Black Lives Matter has come out against it as well. And I think fundamentally what you're talking about, for those two organizations to come out, you're talking about inequality and civil rights. That's what those organizations...
Are you for repealing public funds to charter schools in California?
Am I for what? Repealing?
The charter law, so no public funds would go to charter schools in California?
Oh, absolutely. What you're trying to do is set up a private... you want private education, you want us to pay for it. That doesn't seem... You know...
So you don't believe these charter schools are really public schools?
Well, of course I don't. And who does? Because, hey, because the other thing that goes on, and this is what's going on in New York right now, that those loans have come good. And now they got to go and pay them. And they're bloody bent double trying to pay them. And that's what's going to happen here. And it's well known what the tax breaks are. And tax breaks is my money, by the way, and your money and everybody else's money. So what do you want? I'm happy to pay taxes. I pay taxes for public schools. But I'm not happy for opportunists to come out of Wall Street to be doubling their money over 7 years. And that's out of Forbes magazine, a financial magazine that knows where the money goes.
My name is Carlos Taboada, and I am a retired teacher. I have been in the West Contra Costa schools for 21 years. And I decided to run for school board. I guess I made my decision in May of this year when we had a meeting with the representatives from the Caliber industry, the Caliber chain of charter schools. I realized then that the attack on public education was real. I had the opportunity to see the opposition, really, the opposition face to face. And I decided that I had to do something as a teacher, as an experienced teacher, and as a member of the community. I had to make a stand and do my best to defend public education. That's why I'm running for school board. I am a strong supporter of teachers. I strongly support teachers' autonomy. I realize our district has weaknesses. We have weak points, but we also have a democratically run district, which is something that charter schools do not have. Our school board members are appointed. I'm running for school board. Our school board members are not appointed. They are elected. And that is what is at stake, really. Democracy for our children, democracy for our community, or corporate-run education, so-called public education. They want public money, but they're more interested in that, public money, more interested in that than in public education. I'm also a strong supporter for establishing organic, real links to the community. That's why in my flyers, I've come up in support of the adult school program. I think that is the one link we have with the community. And I question also the way that the so-called achievement gap is being framed. They make this achievement gap solely a gap between ethnic groups. And they set up ethnic groups competing against each other. And that's a false appreciation of the problem. There is no achievement gap between ethnic groups. What we have here is a lack of opportunity, the lack of opportunity that our students and our families in low-income areas, that's what is at stake. And the way to approach the problem is with programs that link the community, with programs, academic programs that address the academic needs of the students. I believe that our teachers should have the autonomy to design their instruction to meet the needs of the students in front of them, not to meet the needs of whatever philanthropic organization donates X millions of dollars. They all come with strings attached, and we end up serving them rather than serving our students. That's why we have such appalling academic record in our district, and it's really pitiful. By the district's own admission, only 42% of the graduating class met the A through G requirements. That means that only 42% have the necessary credentials to attend state university or a UC university. That means that their so-called college-going culture is simply not functioning for 58% of our graduating class. And we are never going to solve that problem unless we address specifically the needs of the students in front of the teachers, not the needs of bureaucrats or the needs of, like I said, whatever philanthropic organization throws a few $1 million in our way. And even the district has admitted that we have many stakeholders. Each one has a different claim, and each one is pulling in a different direction. What I offer is a district-wide vision to carry out a comprehensive academic reform. And that's what I intend to do when I become a member of the school board in the West Contra Costa Unified School District. Thank you.
I mean, at Richmond High, where you were a teacher, one of the things that's happening is there's short of supplies, there's support of equipment, yet at the same time they're going to be building new schools, new charter schools, the Ron Beller Caliber School. What is that all about? I mean, it seems like the schools that you already have should be supported instead of building new schools.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And it shows that the district should be planning for its own growth. We seem to be very preoccupied planning for the growth of the charter schools. This proposed sale to the Caliber charter school industry, this proposed sale of the lot with the former Adams Middle School is an example of that situation. We are not planning for our own growth. And you mentioned Richmond High School. Well, let's talk about the amount of money that these charter schools get just from what is called the average daily attendance. It's an amount that ranges from $6,500 to $10,000 per year per student. So just last year, just taking a conservative figure, just last year, these charter schools received over $21 million. This year, they are on line to receive close to $25 million. And those are $25 million that our public schools won't have to serve our students. And we cannot continue with this hemorrhage, this financial hemorrhage that is killing our district. And I also would like to add that I used to think that the objective of charter schools was to take over the district. But I've changed my mind. I don't think they want to take over the district. They are just like a parasite, does not want to kill the host. They don't want to kill the host. They're all too happy taking our students, cherry-picking our students, and tossing back to the real public school system the students that give them problems, the students that they consider are not worth educating. So that is the situation. We are serving them as a disposal, students that they don't want, well, send them back to the public schools. And even with this selection of students that they make, their academic records really are nothing to shout about. They are actually rather mediocre. Their academic performance is, to put it plainly, rather mediocre. They have not introduced any innovative methods in education. Their teachers certainly are not in control of the curriculum. And these two things are, if you check the 1992 California Charter School Act, well, those are things that the charter schools are supposed to be doing, and they are not doing that. And, well, that is the situation.
Now, they say that they're helping Latino and African-American students, that they're really fighting racism and discrimination, yet the NACP has called for a moratorium on charters. What is the reality of the situation as far as their claims that they're helping fight segregation and racism in our public education system?
I think that's an out-and-out lie. I think that they are not helping the Latino or the African-American students. They are helping themselves on the back of the Latino and the African American students. Because of the local control funding formula that Governor Brown has introduced, low-income students and English learners mainly receive additional funding. That's why these charter schools are targeting these groups of students. And they are doing it in a way that they are reintroducing segregation. So they are not building communities, they are destroying communities. They are not bringing people together, they are pitting people, groups against each other. That is the truth about charter schools.